Well, we're back at it again. We're going to be talking about the FNAF Fanverse Initiative and Phisnom. Yay! So Phisnom did the thing that I didn't honestly expect him to do, judging by his character. He made a video responding to all the drama that's going on. And both me and Luminous have taken notes, and we're going to address why his response video is bad. Don't expect this to be extremely professional, because we did just jog down notes, because we didn't want to watch his whole video in a live format. We're going to do that maybe for someone else later, but for his video, it'd be way too mean and we'd just be making fun of him. So, let's get into this with my opinions on his video first. So, at the beginning, he talks about how he streamed FNAF Ruin, and when I watched his stream, yes, I found an archive, you can actually go on the Wayback Machine, he did not engage with his audience about the game. He didn't engage with the game. All they did was try to force memes, mainly that being involving the Mimic and how everyone's overhyping it. So funny. And he never really told a joke that I liked, but that's a subjective thing. The stream wasn't good, it wasn't funny, and I honestly clicked off halfway through it. Maybe it's just like that meme where you're digging for diamonds and you're almost there, and I turned away at the last second, but from what I saw, it wasn't funny, and I didn't think it was going to get funny. In the actual response part of the video, which somehow takes place after him talking about the stream for some reason, he talks about the victim. And when talking about the victim, he left out the fact that he rickrolled them and actively memed on them. He kinda vaguely brought it up, so he may have referred to it, but I've watched the video 3 times now and he did not make it clear that he was talking about anything. He did harass the kid, he did rickroll the kid, he did engage in some of the harassment. He didn't tell people to send them gore, he didn't send gore and stuff himself, but he did play a part in the harassment, and he is still not owning up for that. He never really apologized to the kid, and he says that it's not an apology stream or apology video, but then goes on to apologize for his friends at the end. So I guess if you're a friend, someone who he actually cares about, it is an apology video. But if you're some rando pretending to be hurt, according to him, pretending to be hurt, then no, you don't get anything. I'm just going to explain why you're wrong. Because that's what empathetic people do. He never seemed like he was upset or sorry towards the victim involved at all. He constantly used manipulative language to build the victim up as someone that's untrustworthy, someone who had been banned and created alt accounts to continue to interact with him, and paints him as someone who is trying to use him for clout and is an attention seeker so that it can delegitimize the stuff that they went through. He says that the stuff that they were sent was actually stuff that they were into. So basically he's saying that because they're into gore, the fact that people sent them gore isn't that bad. Because they're into this stuff, it's not bad that it happened. It's okay if the minor gets sent messed up adult material. They're into it according to Phisnom's logic. He implies that the harassment that the kid was getting wasn't that bad because they had their DMs open and were accepting people into their server, which is completely ludicrous. They shouldn't have to go total lockdown because they're getting harassed by your fans, and just because they have their stuff open and are probably banning each and every person who harasses them doesn't mean that the harassment isn't existing. That is ridiculous. Makes excuses on why he didn't seriously respond before, which they vary in a multitude of degrees, that being that he didn't think it was serious, he didn't see a point in doing it, and he didn't want to cause more trouble. Those are all reasonings that he gave, all the reasonings being bad. He tries to say people who harassed the kid didn't identify as his fans, when there's no proof to that at all. It's not a group of trolls trying to frame you. That's completely ridiculous. They probably were your fans, if not almost definitely your fans. Quit trying to muddy the waters. Didn't get upset until his friend Doggo disapproved of his behavior. And as far as I'm seeing so far, like, his friends being upset with him is the only time that he actually cares, almost like he's caring to save face. Then makes a generic disclaimer tweet talking about how he'll remove harmful fans and block people that are toxic, even though he has a toxic attitude and embraces a troll persona, basically fostering a toxic fandom. So I don't know how he could even try to do that with the type of people that he's gathering, but whatever. He spins a sad story about how he's a troll for fun and never wanted anyone to get hurt, but actively participated in harassing a child after knowing it was a child, that he likes being hated and wants no responsibilities, and how he doesn't like having an important job and how that stresses him out, that he didn't want to be the head of the FNAF fanverse or one of the pillars of the FNAF fanverse initiative, how he didn't want to have this big successful job and have people like him, and that you should feel bad for him because, oh my god, he just happened to succeed. Yeah, we all feel bad for you. Worried about his trolling hurting others, but still doesn't want to stop trolling, because when you're really worried about people getting hurt by the things you do, you keep on doing them. That's the good bit of logic from Phisnom. He said that he was trying to be professional, but I have been following this project since day one, and I can tell you that's not the case. I covered FNAF Plus 4 months ago, and it was extremely unprofessional. If you were trying to be professional, dear God, I'd hate to see you really try to not be professional, because you're really bad at it. You're really bad at being professional. He regrets being in the fanverse. He didn't say that directly, but he basically heavily implied it. He didn't want to be bugged about his game FNAF Plus, which is why he started telling people that he was going to delay it every time they asked him about it, because that's what trolls do. They get personally offended by things and then get really defensive about it. That's a troll strategy. He whines about being an e-celeb, another troll strategy, and how he didn't want to be internet famous, and how he just wants to make jokes and be left alone. More troll behavior, I guess. And then he talks about his stalker, but I'm personally not touching that, because it has literally nothing to do with everything that matters, that being the minor that's involved. The stalker stuff is really sketchy, and I'm not going to talk about it. It seems like that stuff has already been settled and is only being thrown in here to gather more sympathy and to give the stalker attention. And I feel like talking about the stalker, saying their name or anything, will only cause them to harm themselves more. So I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. He can do that. Other people can do that. I'm not doing that. But that's all my thoughts on this. Luminous, how do you feel about Phisnom's response video?
Personally, I'm not happy with the video. Like, in the slightest. First of all, like you said, it's not an apology video. That's clear. Like, he does verbally say in the video that it's not an apology video at the very beginning, which is fine. Except for the fact that later in the video, he does go on to apologize to his friends, who I'm sure probably were hurt by his actions, but weren't the biggest victim in all of it. He'll apologize to his friends, people he cares about, but someone that he clearly directly hurt by his harassment that he got sent to them by making fun of the situation and rickrolling him, like, he would have been participating in the harassment, and he does not apologize to the victim in that. So I have an issue with it there. I think it would have been fine if it wasn't an apology, if he didn't then go on to apologize to his friends. I really didn't like that. He says he doesn't represent FNAF, which is true. He no longer represents FNAF. But the way he posed it at the beginning, to me, made it feel like he was saying that he's never represented FNAF, and that could just be my interpretation of it. But if you are hired by Scott and you are working directly for him, you are making a fan game for him in the Fanverse initiative. Like, you are being physically paid to make the game. You are a part of the Fazverse universe.
Also, the game he's remaking is the very first FNAF game, the one that built the whole franchise. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, from what I'm aware, everyone else that's making a fan game is making it with their characters and their own, like, part of the universe, where Phisnom is directly remaking FNAF 1. So, I really didn't like the fact that he worded it the way he did. Again, maybe it's just me, but it felt like it was manipulative, and I'm not really shocked because the whole video felt manipulative. He claims that he blocked the kid because they were underage previously, but if that's true, how did the kid retweet Phisnom in the first place? I suppose he could have screenshotted it, or got a screenshot of it from somewhere, but, like, I saw it and it didn't look like that. I could be misremembering it because it was a few days ago and it's been deleted since then, but that had me really confused when he said he already had the kid blocked. So I don't know about that one. He doesn't address the fact that after the kid showed him that he was being sent gore, he proceeded to fake an apology to him and rickrolled him. And I can only imagine that's because he knows that would make him look bad, and he was heavily downplaying how much of a he was being to the kid. And this kid who was being harassed and proved that he was being sent harassment, he further harassed. He further got harassment sent to him. Because even if the people who saw Phisnom's tweet didn't go and send the kid more gore or death threats, there is a fair chance that because he did that, people saw it as an okay thing to do to go and harass the guy further. With maybe memes or just insults. I don't know, but it seemed like he was inciting more harassment to the kid with that, and I think that's why he didn't include the fact that he rickrolled him. He does claim that he looked further into it after the kid sent him the proof, but again, after he looked into it more, he still proceeded to rickroll him. And he didn't tell people to not send death threats to anyone until hours after the fact, when one of his friends, someone he looked up to, disavowed his actions. I don't think he cared at all until someone he cared about spoke up and said something. And he proceeds to downplay the harassment the victim got because he allegedly liked the kind of stuff that he was being sent anyways, which, even if he did, that's a disgusting reason to say that it's fine that he was getting that, and says that he was also getting positive attention from it, so he didn't care, claiming that the kid was happy about the positive influx. I just think that's ridiculous, because even if the kid was getting positive reactions from it after he called him out, and people were like, that's messed up, I'm so sorry that happened to you, and trying to, like, I guess comfort him in a way, that's no excuse for you to be like, oh, see, he's fine, he's being comforted, it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. It's disgusting. He tries to give explanations for the way he behaves, but the entire time it felt more like he was giving excuses more than explanations. And there is a difference. You can explain why you behave a way without making it feel like you're making an excuse. And the entire time, it made it feel like he was trying to excuse his behavior, not explain it. And I think that is an important distinction to make. And again, like, he says he doesn't want to be a pillar of the community either, despite taking an active role in the community by being as public as he is and being a part of the Fan First initiative. I really don't know how much of a bigger pillar of the community you could be. And then, he also was getting upset that people were perceiving him the way that he presents himself in public. Like, if you present yourself as being toxic, people are going to perceive you as being toxic. That's just how that works. And then he proceeds to try to get people to pity him, and he is trying to garner sympathy throughout the video. Like, it honestly just felt so manipulative. I did not like the video one bit. It does not feel like he is taking any sort of accountability or responsibility for what happened.
Okay, so I guess final thoughts are, In this video, Phisnom confirms that he has been let go of from the Fazverse initiative. We were right. He was fired. He is done. And he cannot have any say in the game whatsoever. He acts like that's a good thing. I think that's a bad thing personally for him. It's a good thing for the community. But he is 100% gone from this game, which means that FNAF Plus might actually come out now. There might be an actual release date now since professionals are handling it. So that's good for everyone. And really, I guess this whole video was a giant waste of time. He didn't say anything new. He didn't really bring any smoking gun to the table. He kind of just stated what he had already said before, and his fan base ate it up and went, yes, he is good. He is innocent. Victim bad. And I guess that's how discourse works now. You just keep responding until the other side gives up, and then you're the winner. That is how discourse works. The reality of it is, and this is what I've heard from all of his defenders, I have not heard any of them try to explain why he harassed the victim. Why did Phisnom participate in harassing the victim? He participated in it. He made it clear to his fandom that it was okay to harass this child. He is the one who sent them the Rickroll. He is the one who continued to make fun of them. He is the one who set the precedence that it is okay to harass people online. And then he wants to act like that he didn't do that and downplay it. And honestly, because of his behavior and because of the amount of excuses he made, I can only see him as a crybaby. And I can only see him as having a cult of personality. And people don't care if he's professional or not. People don't care if he's a good person. People only want to watch his streams. Which, if you're one of those people, good for you. Good for you. Go have fun watching his stuff. But don't act like he's innocent. Don't act like he's a good person, because he'll tell you himself, except for when it hurts him and his friends, that he's toxic, and that he's not a good person, and that you shouldn't look up to him. These are all his own words. So yeah, I stand by my stance that he is the most bitter person to be involved with FNAF. But I am very, very glad that he is not involved with FNAF. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this video. If you guys like this video, like it, share it around to people who like FNAF. And I want to thank everyone who's been subscribing. I appreciate every subscription out there. Hoping to hit 1,000 soon. And I might be responding to a Sleep Life video soon, because he said that he was welcome to hear people's dissenting opinions. And I might decide to hop onto that, at least for one go around, because Sleep Life's videos on this have been terrible.